Hello, my name is Roger Hunt, and I'd like to welcome you to this International House Barcelona workshop called 5 Generic Approaches to Grammar. Firstly, I would just like to briefly explain what I mean by generic, and then give a very brief outline of the 5 approaches themselves as well. Generic simply means that these are not one-off ideas. We have got sample materials for you to look at and indeed to experiment with during this workshop, but the approaches themselves are not limited to the examples we give you. Each of the approaches can be used at any level with any grammar point, potentially meaning, of course, that you have hundreds of different lessons ready-made for you within this workshop. The approaches themselves are intended to help students notice features of grammar. And this word notice is quite a key word. Researchers suggested that we need to notice a new item quite a number of times, some say up to about 16 times, before we really start taking it in and it becomes part of our own language pool. Some of the approaches are based around text and involve students, first of all, with comprehending the text, but then finding features of grammar within this text, which later we'll be going on to use. Others are based around a lexicogrammar approach, which is looking not just at grammar at a sentence level, but also at the word level, and exploring rules of when we can and when we can't do such things as morphological change to words, in other words, adding things at the beginning or the end of words, and precisely where they can or cannot go within a sentence, for example. At a higher level, some of the approaches look at phrase types and how these will operate as well. Some of the approaches, as I said, are using text. Others are not. Others are using little groups of words. One called propositional cluster task is an old idea from a grammarian called Rutherford. And as you'll see when you try it out, it's probably the most simple approach conceivable, involving selecting 4, 5, 6 words and generating from those a text of the student's own. In each case, each of the activities requires the students to use grammar, and in each, the teacher's role is to help the students notice the particular features of grammar that the student has to use within that activity. The material is all available for you on this course. Once I've finished speaking, you will see where to click to open up the resource bank of materials that you can experiment with in your own classes. And you're very much encouraged to use our forum as well, where you can discuss your own classroom experiments with colleagues around the world who are taking this workshop as well. Some of them before you, some of them later, some of them at the same time. And finally, as part of this workshop, there will be a one-to-one interactive tutorial with me, and we will be contacting you quite soon to find a time that's mutually convenient for us to get together and chat. So I look forward to speaking to you then.